live button, so hopefully we've got everything working okay. My cat had joined me here as I was prepping, but as soon as I started talking, he has decided to skedaddle. So he may come back and join us. I'm going to give a few minutes for people to pop in. We'll see how many people do, as I'm new to lives, and so the word just might not be out yet. Plus, it's a holiday. People might have activities going on. So if you're here, you can pop into the chat and say hello, because I can see the chat up there, and I will do my best to keep track of that. I have a hard time crafting and paying attention to other things at the same time, so these lives will be a challenge for me, but I'm going to keep doing them. I'm so far have enjoyed it despite a little bit of nerves. In fact, if you were here for my last live, or if you watch the replay, because the replays will be available, I had created some parts to my project, and then I forgot to add them onto the project because the nerves were there, and I'd set it aside to dry or something and then totally forgot about it. So hopefully I'll get everything on the project going on here today. So if you are new here, welcome. This is my Mystery Box Makes project, which I do once a month. This project started a few years ago when I bought a Black Friday warehouse discount box from a stamp store, Simon Says Stamps, if you know them. And I bought that for Black Friday just for me as, like, you know, my Christmas goodie. And then when it got here, the prospect of opening it and having that anticipation be over didn't appeal to me. So I was thinking, what could I do? And then I decided, well, since I have a YouTube channel, I might as well open it up and do things with it on my YouTube channel. And I'm really a big fan of the cooking show with the mystery baskets. So they open up their baskets and they see what their ingredients are to cook with. So I'm going to cook up a paper crafty project, and so that is the method of my madness. I have switched it up just a little bit going forward from here. I do have that mystery box. Again, I purchased it on Black Friday, and I added on to that this time. When I was shopping for Black Friday, there were a couple of other deals that I noticed, which were packs of pattern paper. Just it was Simple Stories random pattern papers, as well as a pack of stencils from, I believe, the Crafters Workshop. So I have created this wheel. Let me switch views here. Okay, it's working on my screen. Hopefully you guys can see that wheel. So I have created this wheel that has all of these choices over here on it. So the big box would be the main mystery box that I'm working out of, but I've also added these other categories for stencils and pattern paper. And I tried to balance it because I have way more stuff going on in that big box than I do in the paper pack and the stencil pack. So hopefully I've got a good balance on the wheel. If I find that it's selecting one thing over the other things too frequently, then I might adjust the proportions of the wheel, but we'll work with that for today. And let's see, the other thing is I tend to be largely a scrapbooker, but I've noticed I've been doing more cards on this project because they're a little bit easier. I don't have to worry about finding photos that are the right theme for whatever products I pull out. So I do have behind me, you can, let's see that way, you can kind of see it back there. Those binders are my story binders where I keep pre-printed photos with little note cards for what those stories are going to be. So if I do end up scrapbooking, especially now that pattern paper is definitely in play here, it hasn't always been with these boxes, then I might, let's see, I'm still getting used to the backward video. I might want to do some scrapbooking. So I do have those binders back there. So I think that is the lowdown for this project, besides the fact that I keep it at an hour so that I don't hold you all day, so that I don't hold me all day. And then whatever I don't get done while we are live, I will go ahead and finish up and then post some photos in the community channel of this group. So it's not a big part of my channel right now, but hopefully in the future it will get bigger. And YouTube has made some changes to the community channel right now that will act much more as a chat platform and a sharing platform, kind of rolling in some of, you know, Facebook and Twitter and all of those kind of platforms under the YouTube umbrella. I've seen one demo of it so far, and it's still young. So we'll see how that goes. And my channel has not rolled it out yet, so we'll see if that comes up for me in the future. But for now, I don't see anybody popping in and saying hello. So if you do, go ahead, say hello. For now, I will go ahead and start spinning this wheel to see what we have to work with. So if I've got all my text set up correctly, I've got an extra screen over there where I can see the wheel. So let's give it a spin. There it goes. So we've got something going on. So our first item is going to come out of the big box. It'll pop up. There we go. It'll pop up a celebration. So that is our first item. We will come out of the big box, and because of nerves, I'm going to make a note. So number 1, big box. Okay. You would think I would be able to remember 3 things, but who knows at this point. All right, item number 2 is, oh, we're getting something different. Okay, so we are going to get a piece of pattern paper. All right, and then let's go ahead and draw for item number 3. And then I will reveal all of these as I pull them out of the box. And we're getting one of everything. So number 3 is a stencil. Okay, I will change my view here so that you can see. Oh, gotta get my mouse back over here so that we can see me and my desk. So let's grab that big box first. Here is what the big box looks like. Not huge, definitely, and because it's from a stamp company and a scrapbook company, I should not tap things because that picks up loudly on the mic. It's mostly stamping and card making related goodies, mixed media, and who knows what else is in here, little embellishments. So let's dive into our first item. I definitely try not to look, and I try not to let my feel guide me. This feels like a postcard. Okay, so that's just what Simon Says sends in boxes when you order something from them. So the first item is flat and rectangular. Oh, sweet. This is a Halloween stencil set. I believe this looks like, is this a Tim Holtz set? No, it just says Sizzix. Oh wait, is that the Tim Holtz logo? I thought it would say Tim's name on here somewhere, but I'm guessing that that's the Tim Holtz logo. I don't buy a lot of his dies just because they're not quite my style, but this should be interesting to work with. Where am I? I like these stars. So these stars are very flexible for a wide range of products or a wide range of projects that I could be creating. So it doesn't have to be Halloween themed. So that's item number 1. I will set this aside and I'll grab our other 2 packages. So these are the other 2 packages. You can see here that this says Simple Stories. As soon as I got this in the mail, I slid a piece of blank white cardstock into here so that I would not peek at these papers. I was tempted, very tempted, but I'm not going to peek at these papers. So I'm just going to reach in here, and even though I can see the names of things, I'm just going to reach in and pull out 1 sheet of pattern paper. So this looks like one of their Disney lines, which I don't buy because I don't do the whole Disney thing. So that's not. Oh, this one is tickets. Let's see if I can give you guys closer. Merry-go-round, river cruise, railroad, blast off. So this could be theme park in general, county fair. We haven't done the county fair in a while. I could also cut this up and just use pieces of it. So my brain has to start thinking in order for us to get to making a project. Let's see, I will set this back over here. And then we get to do the same thing with this package, which is full 12 by 12 stencils. And I've been wanting to add to my full 12 by 12 stencil collection, so I thought, why not do this way? So again, just reaching in here, trying not to give anything else away as I pull out. Hopefully, the thing with stencils is that they often have small nooks and crannies that can get stuck on other things. There we go. Okay, let's see what we've got here. I'm not even sure what it is. Maybe it's best if I grab just a sheet of black or gray cardstock. Okay, some kind of ornate pattern that has leaves and florals on it. They're not super distinct. I could maybe just use a portion of it to have some kind of leafing going on. And then I'm thinking that flower, I'm trying to decide how much is going to read because if you're just getting the edges of this flower, although you know what you can do with stencils is you can trace around it and then cut them out and turn them into embellishments. So like this shape looks like paisley kind of pattern. I could trace something out like that and make embellishments. I don't think I'm going to do that. Right now I'm liking just this leaf, because if I mask off extra edges, I could use this leaf for something. Okay, let's start there. I think what I'm going to do is grab a sheet of white cardstock, and my ink blending tools are right here because I knew stencils could come up today. Let me grab a white sheet of cardstock, and then I'm going to need to grab my story binders because I think I'm going to go ahead and see if I have a way to make a scrapbook layout. All right, here is, I got two sheets here. My brain is trying to think about what photos are in my story binder right now. I have some Christmas photos, and what I'm thinking is that the stars could work for Christmas. Could I use, maybe I could use this leaf to make a wreath? Maybe. And then the pattern paper I could cut apart. This is more of a tealy green, but it could read a little bit as green. And the train theme actually works well for Christmas because a lot of people put out little model trains around their Christmas tree. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'll use these cut aparts with red and the tealy green. This one has actually a little bit more green. Those are all river boats though. These tealy greens definitely have railroads on them. So I think I'll use those even though the color's not as good. All right, let me grab my binder because I do think I have some Christmas photos. You know what I just realized? Instead of people Christmas photos, I'm going to do this off camera because there are some things in here that I don't want to share on the whole internet. But let's see, if I open this up, okay, I think I can go ahead and show you this. So this is my story binder, and it's very thick and very full. Right now it's mostly full of memorabilia type stuff that I have in here. So cards I've been given, brochures I've kept from places, and that's the stuff I have a harder time storing, but that's mostly what's in here. But there are lots and lots of sleeves with my photos, and I'm gonna work on this picture, I think, because it's very easy to work with. And I've been telling a lot of my cat stories lately. This is Jamie, who I mentioned at the very beginning of the stream, was on my desk, and I thought he might stay, but he did not. The other thing in my binder is any notes that I keep. Mainly the notes right now. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus. Mainly the notes that I'm keeping at this point are the dates and like a title of what I want the layout to be. In the past, these have been more elaborate when I felt like I needed to plan more. So I would put a sketch, I'd write down any journaling notes or any notes on supplies that I wanted to use. But this is the story binder I've been using for many years, and it works very well for me. So I wanted to share that in case any of you don't know about my story binders yet. All right, so let's go with this wreath idea. We will use the stars for sure, but there's also, I'm just gonna hold it up, but there's also a cat in here, so that goes with my cat photos. I'm feeling good. All right, let's see, we have these two different portions that could be used for stenciling. I'm gonna set these things off to the side, and let's go ahead and start with the stenciling. All right, oh, my phone just made noise. Hopefully you guys didn't get there's cat hair all over everything because my cat was on my desk. All right, and my hair all over everything too, because that's just how my hair goes. Okay, let's get a little cat hair off. Let's bring in stenciling brushes. Let's bring in, I need some masking tape. I think I'm going to get my chunky masking tape. If I can remember where I put it. Oh, there it is. I've been moving things around in here again. Do you guys ever organize things and then feel like it's not working and then reorganize things again? It feels like what's happening to me lately. All right. Let's see where we want to mask. I'm going to break this down into smaller pieces. Okay, do I want, this is a pair of leaves. I guess I do want to come up that far, but then I think I want it to end right there. And we'll come across there. Okay, this one is a little awkward because it rolls into another shape. Let's see. Let's go there. Trying to tear the tape away from the microphone, but I'm sure it's probably coming across loud. Let's see. That leaves a little bit of an awkward spot, but I think that'll be okay. All right, let's go ahead, oh boy, and mask off this other leaf as well so that we can use them both. This one has more curve to it, so it's going to be helpful to create the shape of the wreath. This one is definitely straight. Okay, so I was looking at this part that goes up to that flower. So I think probably want to mask it off something like that. It's hard for my brain sometimes to see because we're going to see the color in between and the white space will be the leaf. So actually the color is going to end up being on the inside and the outside of the wreath, and then the white will follow the circle. Here we go. How's our time? We're 20 minutes in. Well, like I said, if I don't finish on camera, I will try and get the bulk of the ideas down and then finish anything. I tried cleaning up the cat hair, but it's still everywhere. Try and finish everything, all the details. Like maybe I'll save my journaling for off camera, because you don't need to see me writing notes everywhere. Okay, I think that might be enough coverage for me to start working this. So what I think I'm going to do is give myself a pencil line to kind of make that wreath shape, and I'm going to use my wrist to be a pivot point to kind of start a circle shape, and then I'll rotate my page and then kind of do the same thing, and then we'll just keep going around. Is it going to be perfect? No, but my stencils will not follow a perfect curve anyway, so I think that's good enough, and then I will erase that at the end. So let's pull this in and see how well it follows that curve. Okay, so if I do it, if I like stencil on the line, it actually follows the curve pretty well, and that will allow me to erase the pencil better, because if you cover pencil with ink, it becomes harder to erase because it's kind of sealed that pencil to the paper. Okay, so I need to choose some colors of ink. I have a few colors here. Let me go grab some greens, because I'm just going to go with greens. Let's see, I think we'll just use the oxides because they're creamy and they blend smoother, which means I need, this is how I store my little oxide sponges, and I do not have one for every color at this point, but I do have, of course I don't have Mowed Lawn or Rustic Wilderness. Let me grab some clean sponges. Okay, these are all things that I have cleaned up and put in a bag to reuse. So I'm just gonna grab 2 handles, and now we've got Mowed Lawn and Rustic Wilderness. And we're not gonna use those ones after all, because I save the brushes just for dye inks and I use the foams for the oxide inks. So let's see how this color comes out. This looks like the lighter one, and this is a darker one. So I'm gonna put them off camera, and then I will keep my little blender tool in the lid so that I grab the right one. Not that it's gonna matter too much, but you know what? I think I want to start the lighter color on the outside, and we'll add the darker color to the middle, because that would typically be where shadow and shading happens. And I think I can just cover this whole thing with the light color, because the dark color will just cover up. Now we're gonna get odd edges there, and I will come in and do some ink blending from the edge as we go. All right, so let me get the dark color while we're here. Let's see, gotta ink up. These are fresh sponges, so I need to load them up with ink. There we go. That's definitely working. And then let's kind of give that a smooth that out. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's see. Oh, let me just leave the lids open. Let's see. Okay, remember when I said this is going to be the reverse? I think we don't quite have enough context. Yep, farther down. There we go. So what is going to give me more context for these leaves? Okay, I have an idea, and this is probably best to do before inking, but I'm going to grab a pen and let's start tracing these leaves. And what I'm going to have to do is, this leaf doesn't have an end point to it. I'm going to have to make that up with my pen. So I am just going to start tracing out the general shapes of these leaves so that we can get a little more context here. Okay, so if I look at this, this can go like that. We'll just sketch in some of these leaves. I missed that. Let's see. Okay. That looks okay to me, except for we're getting these awkward inking spots here. Okay, what can I do about that? Maybe I will just do my best to come in and I will use the edge of my sponges. And then I can come in with a little more color from my other color. Okay, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I think we can get this to work. So the question is, do I want to just keep going around with this same leaf, or do I want to try incorporating, let me just try incorporating these other shapes. So I'm going to trace first. And I'm going to stop where they meet. Okay. I think what I want to do is do one side at a time, one leaf at a time, so that I make sure I'm getting all of the shape. And this is where it's a little difficult for me to talk to you guys and craft at the same time. Let's see. Okay. I don't know what's happening down here. I think maybe go ahead and take some of this and mask that off because I'm not quite sure what that is. And some of this one and mask off that. Okay, so is this in place enough? I think so. Let's come in with our light color and ink the whole thing. Of course, our light color is going to be becoming mixed as I add more things onto this and then come back to blend. That light color is going to pick up the residue of ink that's on the stencil and it will start darkening up the light color, but that's okay. If I really need to, I can just sponge it off onto a rag, which I have sitting right here. Okay, I have a little bit of, oh, I missed a leaf. That's okay. We're just going to be okay with that. Let me go ahead and trace it out just to show that that is a leaf. And then those go off the edge. And then we'll come in. So my pen is a gel pen, which takes a moment to dry, so I just smudged that a little bit. Let's come in here a little bit while that kind of dries. And that's why the Distress Oxides are a little bit easier for blending, because when I have that harsh line from the stencil, the oxides aren't quite dry yet, and so I have some time to kind of work that color around. Oh, here's another leaf that I missed part of. I'll just imagine that leaf is there. Okay, how are we doing on time? We're okay so far, okay. Keeping my tools separate. I will come in and smooth this out a little bit more, but let's keep going with our wreath. Let's just kind of alternate which ones of these we use. I think it was easier to see. It's not easier for the pen to write on top of the oxide because it is still wet and it has chalky properties to it, so the nib of the pen will pick that stuff up and it's more likely to clog. But because it's easier to see, I'm going to go ahead and, okay, this is getting a little bit too dark for me. Let's get all the way to the edge of the paper. And then come in with our darker color. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna wipe the stencil down a little bit to keep my lighter color from getting too dark on me. And then let's go ahead and trace leaves. See, it's starting to skip, and that's because it's trying to write on top of that chalkiness. Hopefully, I know it's a little interesting to watch me just trace stencils as we go, but hopefully, oh. Okay, so some of my ink has transferred probably from the pen that's seeped under my stencil. We'll see if we can fix that. I have, this might be easier while it's still wet. I have this eraser. This is called the Mono Sand Eraser, and it says for ink. It just kind of rubs up that top layer of the paper. Just kind of smooth things out. Okay, I will clean more of that up later because you definitely don't need to watch me do that. So if you are here and you do any stenciling or ink blending, you can drop me a comment and tell me what kind of products you like to use. Are you a fan of the Distress Oxides? Do you prefer something else? Or do you avoid this messy stuff altogether? Let's just kind of end that leafery right there. Let's come in. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit clean up just so I don't get it all over my fingers and then leave fingerprints everywhere, because I tend to be a very messy crafter. All right, let's see where we are with this. So I am part of a design team over at the Scrap Happy membership group, and that means I help make projects and write up posts for the blogs. I often have videos that will go with those posts. And recently, one of the posts was about holiday scrapbooking, which I tend not to do because I find that holidays feel very repetitive to me. I don't find them as satisfying to work on because they feel the same all the time. But when I get to do stuff like this that kind of steps away from all of the traditional stuff, it feels a little more enjoyable. So I'm curious how you guys view holiday crafting. And I know there's maybe not anybody live with me right now because, like I said, my channel is newer to lives. But you can always leave me a comment on replay because I do read every comment and I respond to almost every comment as time allows. So you can drop me a comment and tell me what your holiday scrapbooking is like. Do you do lots of holidays? Do you do like a December daily kind of project? Do you scrapbook your pets like I'm doing, or do you stick with people? Some people just have their fur babies to scrapbook about, especially getting up to kind of where I am at in life, where my youngest my youngest child is 18, and we've been talking all about college path that comes up next. She is interested in doing that. Not all of my kids. I've got 3 kids altogether, and my oldest was not interested in that path, and that is okay with us. We know there's lots of other ways in this world, but the youngest one is so far interested in going to college. Doesn't quite know what she would want to study yet, but she likes to learn. She likes the idea of taking lots of classes and experiencing lots of things. She has thought about maybe being a teacher. She definitely loves theater, so she knows she wants to incorporate that into her college life. So, and she's got several friends who are going to the same school, and she wants to join them so they can continue hanging out and having good times together. So that is where I am at in my personal life, where I've got way more time to sit here and play with inks and paper than I ever used to have. So this gives me some satisfaction to just sit and make art. I call myself semi-retired because we actually technically and legally homeschooled, although my kids used a resource center for homeschoolers that was more like college for kids, where the kids can pick and choose the classes that really interested them. And that is kind of my approach to education, is find things that interest you and learn about them, because we are always learning all the time, and I think we should keep learning even when school is done. School is not the end of learning. School is just one of the steps in learning. And I definitely respect and appreciate the public school for being there. I liked being with my kids. I liked doing activities with my kids. I liked not having to get up in the morning. So there were a lot of thoughts that went into our decision to homeschool. And I know everybody can't do it. I definitely know that. Not everybody wants to do it. I know that too. Some days I thought I would pull my hair out, for sure, but for the most part, I think it was a good experience for us. And this in no way means it should be everybody's experience. Okay, we are getting there, and I'm making a mess as usual. Remember, I can always cover up some things with photos. Okay, I am down to the 20-minute mark, so I think what I'm going to do is just put in, maybe I should have started down there. Maybe I'll leave this section blank so that I can cover it up with my photos, which I had started to say. Okay, let's kind of zoom through the rest of this. And as I zoom, things are going to get messier. So I hope you will forgive me for, that's actually not a full leaf down there. Although I think we can turn it into one if we start it. I hope you will forgive me for where this messiness goes. All of my lines are getting very messy. Okay, let's turn this into a leaf. Let's turn that one into a leaf. I missed the part of that. We'll just take that off the edge. Leafy here. That was a leafy, but it got lots of green on it. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, one more layer of ink, and then we'll move on to more parts of this layout. I think because I've got that black pen ink on my stencil as well, I really should be cleaning off my stencil in between using different inks, because it is starting to pick up the wet ink and smear it and blend it in. But we're gonna make do. All right, let's come in with the lighter color and come in between these leaves again. Okay, what if I just blend this out, and we will cover this up with something. Okay. I love how forgiving these inks are, because it can start off looking like a pretty hot mess, and then you just keep working it and you can get it looking better. So I'm going to smooth out these harsh edges. Bring in a little bit more dark from the edge of the layout, because I think that helps frame everything in. And of course I forgot to erase my pencil line before I started finishing up this inking. Okay. All right. I am going to call the dark good. Let's do a little bit of smoothing. Okay, I think that will do. I'm going to throw this on the floor. I will wash that later. I am going to clean up my desk so I don't transfer ink all over the place. If you haven't caught one of my recent videos, I did a whole series on different mats to help you protect your surfaces and clean up afterwards. And so when this video goes on replay, I can post a link up to that mat video if you're curious about what all the different mats are and why we might want to use the different ones. All right, let's get a few of these cut out really quickly. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We're just going to add a few of these in here. I said I was going with those ones down there. Oh, I should have checked on the back if I wanted to save. I think I'm going to save this journal card. And it says best vacate ever, but I will cover that up with some other title. Okay, here's one that says documented. That will work. Let's cut this one out. And again, if I were working in my normal flow, I would use my paper trimmer to trim these down and get them straightened up. But we are just gonna make do today. Here is another green ticket. And we'll do, I don't know, maybe 3 of each color. So do you guys watch any other crafty challenges? Do you prefer something a little more structured than this weird randomness? I know the Spellbinders website, or their YouTube channel, has, I don't know, maybe once every other month or so, they've got what they call cropped. So they are doing a similar thing where they give Kim Cassidy, who works at Spellbinders, and one of their guests, they give them each a basket of the same ingredients, and they have to put them to use. Of course, they're less random than this. They're more curated than this. But I enjoy watching that because I kind of like the strange process of bringing things together. Okay, I've got 3 red. Let me get 2 more of the greens. I don't know that I'll need all of these, but that's not the right color. There we go. In here. And don't worry about all this leftover paper. It will get used up for something. I have a whole bin of scraps that I keep at my feet for using in times when I need other things. So let's just do super quick trim. I will probably put these on with temporary adhesive so that I can clean them up off camera. So I'm just going to do a quick trim. That one's not too bad. Okay, this one has that extra blue on there. Okay, those look all right. Let's see, we're going to need to die cut some of these stars and that cat. Now, can I die cut out of this paper? I might be able to die cut from the gray. Let's see what these dies look like, if it's all one big star piece or if it's separate little stars. I'm going to bring out... Oops, that's my magnet tray. Actually, that's what I want for this die. Okay, let's get the... Okay, it's one big die piece, which actually is handy for me. So Let's cut this down so it will fit in. Oh, you know what? I like the red stripe here. I think I'm going to use that just as a little bit of a mat or a border to one of my photos, and I will cut out the Mickey ears. Okay, let's get some of these stars die cut. How can I best fit this on here? I will just do my best to fit it on there, and we will pick and choose. I'm going to shut off the mic for a moment because the die cut machine will probably be quite loud. Okay, I've got gray stars, but then what I noticed on the other side is there are fun colors. So maybe I could use either side of these stars. Let's get them out of the die. And then we can cut some more because these stars are tiny. Super tiny. That one is super tiny. Oh my goodness. Okay, there are some stars. Let's put these in another tray so I don't lose track of them. Let's see, all the things that I want to keep at this point can go in my little tray. I'm going to keep my die cut tape on my hand. Put all these things in my little tray. Okay, we are getting up to the 8-minute mark. So let me see about getting some pictures on here and give you an idea about how we can finish this off. All right, let me cut my photos down. All right, if I want to position my photos, I'm going to overlap them, and I'm going to put this one on top because it is the bigger one and it is closer to the foreground. I am going to, let's see, put a little journaling card over here. I want to use bigger scissors because it'll go faster. I'm going to ground my photos with a little bit of stripy strips, and they are different stripes, so I can decide what I want to do. Maybe I'll make 2 little layers of stripy strips, and I will kind of glue those so that they butt up together. Yes, it's on camera. Okay, so that they butt up together. Here we go. This says best vacay, but let's cover this up just with a bunch of tickets. Maybe we can leave that portion. The little swag portion can still be available to see, and we can layer up these tickets in different orientations. Cover up the words that has nothing to do with this story. Although I may want to swap these because I tend to say a lot of things, although this I'm just going to say that I'm glad he cooperated for wearing a Christmas hat because I thought I would torture him with a Christmas hat, but it worked out okay. Alright, and then let's put on some of these stars. I do kind of think I like the gray just because I'm getting pops of red here, and this will give detail without distraction from the rest of the colors. So let's just kind of get some of these stars spread around. And then I still want to die cut that cat. Maybe I will die cut, I don't know if I can fit it on, this is a very light blue with a grid, or maybe on here. We'll see if I can get the cat out of this paper. And then these teeny tiny stars, which I don't even know if it's quite worth it to try and get those on there, because they are so little that I can barely tell that they are even stars. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that one at this point. Okay, so that is the basis. I think what I want to do is maybe make some flowers out of some paper, maybe just some rolled flowers. Let me see if I can show an example before we wrap up. We've got like 4 minutes. Oh, there's another star, got away from me. Let's get this back over here. Okay, I think what I want to do is try and find bits of paper that are more red. But if you cut down strips, you can. It's been a while since I've made rolled flowers, so maybe this isn't the best example. Let's see. Let me try one more thing before you give up on me. Okay, I have a pair of scissors that are fringe scissors, which have multiple blades on them. I could reach over and grab them, but I don't want to take too long. But you can create rolled flowers with strips of pattern paper. And like I said, I'm going to try and go for more of the red color. And then if you start okay, so reminder, the color that you want to go for needs to be on the inside, because as you start fluffing up these little petals, that's the part that's going to show up the most. So I will create some little flowers, and I will probably create some more little leaves just to tuck around the rest of this layout. And I will do a better job with those rolled flowers, and I will clean up some of my ink, get everything glued down, and then I will post the picture of this layout to the community group. So let me change back over to here and say thank you for anybody out there who might have been watching live today. I didn't get any comments here, so maybe I'm all alone, but that's okay. That's okay. This video will go up on replay, and I hope maybe in the future you will join me for a live. It is a challenge because I do have to work around my husband's work schedule, and he works over there, and I can hear all of his business phone call conversations, or at least his end, and I can't catch that on video. So I do have to work around his schedule, and since he has the day off today for the holiday, then I was able to go live. I did give a couple days notice, which I won't always be able to do, because like I said, it just really depends on what his work schedule is. But if you ever see that I have a live coming up, maybe you'll be able to join me. But as always, the replays will be available. So that is it for this time around. I want to thank you for being a part of this channel and hanging out with me, however you do, whether live or on replay. And I hope you have some artful days. Until next time.